So this is the deck tech for Terra, Herald of Hope, a Mardu Reanimator, bracket 3. It's built off the precon, but I replaced a lot. We're running 47 creatures, I believe, 37 lands, 2 mana rocks, a lot of recursion, and aggro. I'm not going to go over all the cards in this deck, but I will have the Archidekt links down below. But I will go over the general game plan. Generally, you want to fill your graveyard, you want to have recursion effects, lots of strong ETBs, and then a lot of aggro to close out the game. And you're doing a lot of this at a very low mana value because Terra is getting creatures out for 2 mana. So this is just a super high value engine. When she starts to pop off, it gets crazy, and I kind of just tend to dominate the game when I have all of the right pieces out. So let's go ahead and start by looking at what we can use to fill the graveyard. It's just some of the unique cards. So one of the first good pieces here is Buried Alive. You get to search for 3 cards and put it into your graveyard. I typically do Sister Hospitaler right off the bat because she can recur anything for us and also heal us. And then I'm also going to typically put an aggro piece in here. I might put Anger or Glory to give myself haste or protection. And then what I find for the third creature card is going to be really situational. I typically do something pretty aggro as well, maybe like Rhea Dawnbringer, something like Malphagor, Drakuseth. These are all some of the aggro pieces I have. I like to get my aggro cards right away, just get things moving. Corpse Connoisseur is also a really unique card that I was able to find. With power 3, when it enters the battlefield, you tutor a creature card straight into your graveyard. Again, there's so many good options to choose for what's going straight into your graveyard. Yeah, and also with the unearth cost of being able to pay for this even when it's not in your hand also makes it have a lot of value. I think Malphagor is actually one of the most unique things I've added to this deck. When anytime I play Malphagor or bring him out, people are like, "Oh my gosh, Malphagor!" Like this is an iconic card. 6/6 flying. When it enters the battlefield, you discard your hand, and each opponent sacrifices a creature card. A creature for each discard you do. And I think this has so much value because you're filling your graveyard when you discard, and at the same time, you're removing your opponent's creatures. This just gives you so much value. And then you have a flying 6/6. It's always popped off, it's always shown itself to have immense value anytime it comes out. And now a bit of a newer card here, Ultimate Green Goblin. For only 3 mana, you're getting a 5/4, which is so good. And then at the beginning of your upkeep, you're discarding and creating a treasure. So not only are you filling your graveyard, you're getting mana too. So this is a really good piece to add to the deck. Let's take a look at the recursion options we have. Doom's Necromancer is a really good one, especially if you have haste on it with Anger being in the graveyard. But for only 3 mana, or if you want to pay 2 mana to recur it, you can tap it, sack it, pay a black mana to return a creature card. That is really good value. I typically use this to get something out, like one of my aggro pieces. So Edgar, Master Machinist, is actually from the precon. He can be recurred with Terra. This guy lets you get your artifacts back. He is very situational. If I really need like my Panharmonicon or Conjurer's Closet back, I'll use this, but he does remain in the deck because everything that exists in this deck, I want to be able to take out of my graveyard. So I'm keeping him in because I do have some crucial artifacts that I would like to get out of my graveyard. So Kroxa and Kunaros is actually a really interesting piece I have here. For 6 mana, Vigilance, Menace, Lifelink 6/6. When it enters or attacks, you can exile cards from your graveyard to bring another creature card back. Whether you want to use that ability or not is situational. I typically love to have my graveyard filled and have everything in there, but I do end up a lot of the time just getting rid of a couple of like random pieces that I don't think are coming back, exiling lands as well. And then at the same time, it's got so many keywords on it, Vigilance, Menace, Lifelink, that this thing just becomes a powerhouse. Loyal Retainers is a really good piece here. Basically, for 3 mana, you're getting a legendary creature back from the graveyard. When you consider that a lot of our aggro pieces are like 6 to 9 mana, this is really good because it's going to get them back right away. So Persist is really good here. It just gets a non-legendary creature back with a -1/-1 counter. I keep this in the deck because it is a 2 mana recursion piece, which is really good. Phyrexian Delver here, just as soon as it ETBs, you get something back from your graveyard to the battlefield. It does have power 3, so this is a really good Terra target. You get this on the board, get something like Zatalpa or Sun Titan right out of the graveyard. So Pinnacle Monk is really good here. It can get the sorceries and instants out of the graveyard. I have this just in case I like really need like reanimate back or something like Buried Alive. I have this just in case. It's a Terra reanimation target. I'm pretty much never hard casting this. Rhea Dawnbringer is one of the more unique cards I was able to find at 9 mana, 4/6 with flying. At the beginning of your upkeep, you return a creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. This is really good. It's just constant recursion, and it is a really strong presence on the board with as a flying 4/6. Sister Hospitaller. This is the GOAT of the deck. This is the best card in the deck for sure. At 6 mana, it's a 3/2. When it enters the battlefield, return a creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. You gain life equal to its mana cost. You're going to be recurring this with Terra. It's like an immediate piece you want in your graveyard. If you see this in your starting hand, you might even want to mulligan unless you have a way to discard it. This is just so good to have in your graveyard. It's going to get you everything from your graveyard onto the battlefield, and you're getting life at the same time. So I've got a couple of utility pieces. I'm going to go over them very quickly. Anger gives you haste. Benevolent Bodyguard is going to give you protection from a color until end of turn, really good to recur. Glory is also going to be one of the key crucial pieces to the deck. You can activate its ability only from the graveyard to give yourself your creatures protection from a color, really good there. Restoration Magic, just quick protection if you need it for only 1 mana. Selfless Spirit, really good for giving your creatures indestructible, and you can bring it back when you need to. And then Sir Conrad finally, just to burn creatures, like burn your opponents as you're milling your creatures. If you bring him out, it's pretty situational, but he is also a 5/4 presence that can give you give you an additional mill outlet. So one thing to keep in mind is that Terra is only going to be reviving things that have power 3 or less. So I'm running a lot of ETB effects that also recur something, but just to look at the ETB effects I have in general, I think Angel of Serenity is one of the really unique ones. Even though it's power 5 and we can't recur it with Terra, we're going to get it out somehow via some means, but when it enters the battlefield, you're going to exile up to 3 creatures, and then when she leaves the battlefield, those creatures are going back to the owner's hands. So this is really good spot removal right here. I really like to run Conjurer's Closet. It lets you flicker something at your end step. So this is Mardu Siegebreaker. This is going to be one of the combo pieces that wins you the game. Because you're going to basically make myriad copies of the creatures in your deck. And when you pop this off, if you get something recurred like Sun Titan, for example, that'll give you a lot of options to recur cards from your graveyard. If you hit Sister Hospitaller, you get to choose what to recur. If you hit Solemn Simulacrum with this, that's 3 land drops right there, and then the death triggers are giving you 3 card draws. Mardu Siegebreaker is one of the cards that is going to be kill on sight for this deck. And the fact that it has Death Touch and Haste too means the moment this comes out, it's immediately going to start showing value. And it's pretty cheap too, only at 50 cents right now, and at 4 mana. So yeah, really good card right here. So then I've got a couple of cards I'm going to go over really quick that are in the deck just for pure aggro. You want to reanimate these. Blade Historian is really good, giving everything double strike. Drakuseth is kind of random in the deck, but as a 7/7 flyer that has a crazy attack trigger, if I can get this out for only 2 or 3 mana, then I'm seeing a lot of value in it. So you can swap this out with something else that gives you more recursion or more milling, but I like this as a really good aggro piece. And I found it in my bulk too, so I had to add it to the deck. Gisela, Blade of Gold Knight, this is really good. This is going to put a target on your back at the same time, though. You are doubling the damage that opponents take and their permanents take, and you're halving the damage that you and your permanents take. Hexavis was a really unique one I found because it's 0 power, meaning you can recur it with Terra. It's flying, you'll get 6/1/1 counters on it, and then you can remove counters from it to make your other creatures flying. So this also does help close out the game if you just make your really strong creatures flying too. Zatalpa is also kind of a random piece here, but it's a 50-cent card. It is keyword soup, flying, double strike, vigilance, trample, indestructible for 8. It's just, if you're getting this out for 2 or 3 mana, you're just going to be dominating the board with it. I'm going to go over the general game plan here. I've got the Archidekt playtester open. I typically like to run at least 3 lands in my hand, getting at least some of the colors. You also want to have You'd ideally like to have some way to discard or fill your graveyard so that by the time Terra comes out, you've got more options for your graveyard. So let's go ahead and take a look. I'll draw here, enter a land tapped, get another land out, and then probably just ramp right away. Want to get that 3rd land down, use this to, let's see, mill 3 cards. So that way by the time that Terra comes out, we're already milling. And look at that. That's, okay, you're going to think this is rigged. It's not. But Sister Hospitaller right off the bat, that's really good. Glory also good right off the bat because that means we have protection for our creatures. Anyways, now it's time for Terra to come out. We go to combat, we mill 2. Now we obviously can't bring anything back right now. Because Terra cannot attack, but soon we'll be able to. And now something I like to do is before I even cast any creatures, I pretty much always go to combat because I want to see if I can get something good out of my graveyard. So I'll go to combat here, I'll mill 2, and then it's very likely that I'll be able to hit someone with a flying Terra. So let's take a look at what we've got. So let's just assume Terra connects with someone. I'll tap 2. I'm going to bring out Sister Hospitaler, I'm going to bring out Sister Hospitaler, and then I'm also going to bring out Celeste off of Sister Hospitaler, which will give me 4 life. She is a really good discard outlet because you choose what to discard. I'm going to discard all these cards, draw 4, boom. And I know this is a very simulated environment, but now I've still got 3 mana to work with in my second main phase here. And yeah, this is just the general game plan of the first couple of turns. You ideally want to fill your graveyard a little bit, and then you'll have a lot more options to recur, and then you'll start getting your tutors. I've got my aggro piece right here. I would find some way to ideally get Zatalpa into my graveyard and Anger into my graveyard. Yeah, once you get the cycle down, once you've played this deck for a couple of times, you'll see that when you start to pop off, you really just start snowballing. So yeah, that's Terra. I feel that the way this deck works is that everything that's in the graveyard has some way to come out. We want to fill our graveyard, basically use it as an extension of our hand, and then cheat out the cards that are in the graveyard. If there's anything else you think I should add to Terra, any other crucial pieces, or anything you disagree with about how I built the deck, go ahead and let me know. I got a couple more videos coming out soon. Thank you.